I told myself when I started making Resident Evil videos again, I wouldn't talk about Alyssa, Trevor, or Wesker, as everybody in this content creation community has talked about them in some way. But there's been something nagging at me for a long time now, something that I've known that I don't see a whole lot of people talking about. And Capcom themselves misleading us and doing things to kind of push us in one direction, setting us up for a very strange twist. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about these really quickly. I do appreciate a like on this video and a subscription. I'm trying my best to hit 100,000 subscribers before Resident Evil 9's release date, and I'm working really hard. But without further ado, let's get into it. First up, a lot of Resident Evil fans have noticed that the Stalker enemy in Resident Evil 9 uses the same sound effects as Alyssa Trevor.
Like when she hits the thing. That's Lisa. Like that's literally the same sound effect as like I don't know if I could say literally, but it's the same sound. Like the same creators of the same franchise are reusing a sound that has only been used for one character in the whole game for a character years later that looks similar in a similar ilk to that character. Strange, but maybe just a coinky dink. Sounds copium? Someone bring it up. It's not. Hey, I'm a sound person. The sound she makes here, that is the sound that Lisa makes when she does her swinging attack. It is. Like, it's straight up. I'm not saying it's her, by the way. I'm just telling you guys a fact. Like, that sound effect is the same sound effect Lisa makes. I'm not saying it's Lisa. I'm just saying that sound effect is Lisa's sound effect. That's all it is.
Now, a lot of content creators have made the excuse saying that this is something that's often used in Resident Evil games, just reusing sound effects. But my thing is, out of all the creatures and all the enemies that exist within the Resident Evil universe, why Alyssa Trevor? Why reuse her assets specifically? And I think it's to push the fan base in one direction, but the comparisons don't stop there. The skin color and appearance of the monster does have some similarities to Alyssa Trevor as well, with the gray skin and other details that just keep reminding you of the past. There's also a very strange detail going on with the monster that I just keep getting confused by and off-putting, and no one really seems to be talking about it, but that is the monster's aggression level. Now, at the start of the demo, we saw that the monster straight up ignored Grace at first. Grace is inspecting this infected body that's on the ground, and the monster, who obviously has to see Grace, decides to go for the infected body first and began eating it. This also leans into the end of the demo cutscene. Now, if you have not seen this, or you don't want to see it, or you're waiting to play the demo for yourself because Capcom's going to release it eventually, try to skip this part, use the timestamps down below. But this part is the end of the demo, and again, the monster's aggression level is pretty strange. So Grace is crawling through the gate and the monster drags her back. Grace crawls again, and once again the monster pulls her back. But there's a moment where Grace is kind of just sitting there, right? She's laying down. Grace is just continuing to lay there. Nothing's happening. She's just in the darkness, laying there. The monster is clearly not attacking her, watching her. Why? Right? It's very odd. This level of aggression, this behavior is very strange, and it reminds me of Alyssa Trevor once again. Remember in Resident Evil 1 Remake, when you go into the house and you begin to walk out, the monster hits you on the head, right? Whether you're playing as Chris or Jill, it hits them on the head, knocking them out. But instead of killing them, Lisa just lets them sleep, lets them rest. And you get up, and Lisa sees that you're awake, and she starts pursuing you again. Also, going back to the way the demo ends, it's very similar to the most recent Gamescom trailer that we got. You see, the Gamescom trailer ends with Alyssa walking behind Grace, and then some weird tentacle looking thing pops up from behind. You can see through the shadows, and it kills her. It abruptly ends, and Grace is looking at her mother, but they kind of cut it. And in this demo that I was just talking about, the end of the demo, it also just kind of cuts, just abruptly. There's also the strange parallels between Grace and Alyssa with Lisa Trevor and Jessica Trevor. So Lisa and Jessica is of course Lisa's mother, they were both experimented on using progenitor. Jessica wanted to get away. However, before her letter to her daughter could get to her, Umbrella killed Jessica, putting her remains underneath the first floor of the mansion so no one could discover her body. Lisa sees her mother in the casket and jumps off, ending her own life, quote unquote. From what we saw in the reveal trailer of Resident Evil 9, Grace was also experimented on. You see her on the table, and that she has a wound on her stomach, pretty much because they cut her open, right? Grace's mother also dies, similar to Lisa Trevor's story. So why is Capcom making all of these comparisons between Resident Evil 9, Alyssa and Grace, to Lisa Trevor all the way back in Resident Evil 1 Remake? We know that Resident Evil 9 is supposed to be this eulogy, this tribute to the past games. But at this point, reusing sound effects, reusing themes, reusing character aggression, appearance, and skin color, all of these combined together just leads me to believe that there's something much bigger to the story than we actually realize. I'm not saying that the monster is Lisa Trevor. I think Lisa Trevor is dead and gone. But what I am saying, and I tried my best to avoid this topic because other people have talked about it, but I am going to get on the train and say that I truly believe that Alyssa is the monster. I now believe that the theme of mother and daughter, mother dying to save the daughter, is kind of reversed in Resident Evil 9 when it comes to who is actually infected. Instead of the daughter becoming the monster, the mother becomes the monster. And I think that the answer lies in that cutscene we saw in Gamescom trailer. If Alyssa got stabbed through the head, right, and Grace saw that, it would understandably make her this kind of shaky person that we see in Resident Evil 9 as she was talking to Nathan. Even before that, she seems a little off. I think that the reason Capcom cut Alyssa's death scene in the Gamescom trailer is to hide how exactly she died, where she got stabbed at. If she got stabbed through the head, then this monster is definitely her. Now you might be asking, why doesn't Grace make that connection? My mother got stabbed in the head, and this monster has a gigantic incision in her forehead. And this creature is clearly a female, with blonde hair, might I add. Honestly, this was my big gripe with the theory. But now that I'm talking about it, I had some time to think about it, and I think it's due to Grace repressing her memories. Grace truly changed and truly became this traumatized individual when she saw what happened to her mother right in front of her eyes. Grace from the Gamescom trailer versus the reveal trailer, which is 8 years in the future, you can tell that something is off with her mentally, right?
You have been on that thing all day.
Well, if you're gonna work so late.
Get some sleep, eh?
I'm almost done, just a sec. Mom, phone. Mom.
It's right beside you.
Coming. If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, top.
She's kind of shaky, she's timid, she's clumsy, which is a stark comparison to what she was in the Gamescom trailer. She was kind of confident, kind of snarky, like a teenager who hasn't grown out of that phase just yet. And that's why I think Capcom is saving Alyssa's death scene till the end, or till Grace puts it all together. That's just my thoughts on it. I really tried to avoid this topic because everybody has talked about it, but man, it's getting crazy, right? I keep making these comparisons and I just had to talk about it and get your thoughts on it as well. So please don't be shy. Let me know what you think about the trailer in the comment section down below. I love to reply and talk to you all. I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys and girls for listening. Deuces.